Hi friends, how's your preparation going? IBPS PO has announced the dates and I'm sure you are really looking forward to it, really excited about preparing for it. A little scared, some nervousness, that's fine, but you're actually excited when the exam dates are here. Exam is not too far away, you're aware, and that kind of gives you some butterflies in the stomach, some nervousness, or whether I'm well prepared, not well prepared, and all these things are very, very normal. The agenda in this small session is to discuss a bit of strategy in terms of, it'll be a very short session, but we keep getting queries about, sir, what to do at this stage, how to prepare, how to balance mains and prelims, do I prepare GK, do I do descriptive writing at this stage, all these kind of questions. I'm sure all of you face such kind of not problems, but yeah, small dilemmas about these things. So I would say that when we talk about strategy going forward from this stage, preparing for IBPS PO, it cannot be like one size fits all. It cannot be the same strategy for everyone. Not everyone can prepare in the same way. So to kind of help you decide what exactly is the best way, optimal way for you going forward, I would divide the students for the sake of explanation in the session in three categories. Fine. This is one would be people who are almost there. Like there are people who would say, I'm very, very well prepared and I'll crack prelims easily, and it's only about mains for me. Prelims is a cakewalk for me. Right? This is category 1 for me. Category 2 would be, yes, I would normally clear prelims. I'm confident about it. I'm okay. Ho jata hai generally, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I'm like fairly well prepared, not very confident about it, but still I need to prepare for it. And the third category would be people who are not sure about this, people who have just started. So like people who have just taking admission in our courses and all such kind of people who are just starting or who are not very well prepared, who believe that there is some substantial work that still needs to be done. All these kind of people, syllabus is not complete and they're not really sure about it. They want to do it this year, but not really sure because of the level of their preparedness. They're not that prepared, right? So I'll start with one. One is that category of people who are very well prepared. They're confident about prelims, 100%. About mains, yes, interview. So the objective now this time is to clear the final hurdle. Complete the thing, right? So these kind of people, repeaters, people who have been very, very close, not been able to do somehow, these kind of people. What do you do at this stage? This is the easiest for you. If you ask me, what do I do? I'll say do everything. Do everything in the sense that you should not just restrict yourself to preparing for prelims or taking the prelims tests. No. So when you're preparing, you prepare for prelims. Obviously, do not ignore it. For me, the caveat would be in case of people who are very well prepared, it's the stage 3, do not leave the prelims preparation completely. So at times, people like this think they do not need to prepare for prelims. They clear prelims every time. I have seen a lot many students do this mistake in the past, in which they thought since they are very well prepared, prelims is not going to be a problem for them. Since they have cleared it many times, it will not create a problem for them, right? These kind of things. What tends to happen is that since prelims is a speed test, you are aware. Mains, I'll call mains a test of problem solving skills. Prelims is still a speed test, right? So what tends to happen is that when you get into that problem solving mode, you're doing GK, you're doing descriptive and all those things, and you tend to kind of ignore that speed test aspect completely. It can catch you off guard at the time of the exam. So don't do that. What I'll suggest for you, ideally for people who are very well prepared at this stages, do your GK, along with other things. So keep reading it regularly till the main exam, right? Make it a habit, because after that you'll be taking SBIPO as well. Keep writing for descriptive writing. Keep doing that. Do higher level problems, puzzles, CR problems, data interpolation sets, everything. At the same time, keep taking tests for prelims as well regularly. So if not much, I'll say at least a test daily, or 2 tests in 3 days, like that. It will not take you much time. It's just an hour-long test. Analysis will take further 15-20 minutes. Fine, and this would be it. This is your preparation prelims. In case you've forgotten something, some concept, you will bump into a problem while taking the mock test, which will make you realize, oh, I've forgotten this. You'll go back to it and revise it. This is going to be the routine for you. However, what you can do, or what you should do, is that when the exam approaches, say you're taking the exam of 23rd of September, I think that's the date on which it's starting. So 3-4 days, 5 days before the test, it's a big exam. If there is no prelims, if you do not clear the prelims, there is no mains for you. There's no interview for you, right? So before, like 3-4 days before the exam, focus on prelims completely. You get into that kind of groove. This is important for you. People have made this mistake, and I'm telling you this thing from experience. So just 3-4-5 days before the exam, get into the prelims mode. Stop doing that descriptive and GK and everything for 3-4-5 days, right? And take 2 tests, 3 tests daily. Just condition your brain, your mind to perform optimally on the day of the prelims exam. Say the cutoff is 65, what is the harm if you get a 78? It will give you a lot of confidence going into the main exam. Get the point? Secondly, it would ensure that even on a bad day, test takers, good students have bad days as well, right? Even on a bad day, in a test in which you could have scored a 78, probably you ended with a 68. That's okay. It does not hurt you still, because the question that you had taken was such, but it will not happen if you are taking it lightly. On a bad day, though you're very well prepared, you're deserving, you're out of the race because you had a bad day. So even on a bad day, I'll score enough to clear the prelims test. You got the point? After prelims, focus on mains, focus on writing, focus on descriptive, focus on problem solving, do DI level, mains level DI kind of questions, mains kind of puzzles, mock tests for mains and everything, and do all what you will prepare for main exam. One last thing for you, you'll ask me whether I take mock tests for mains at this stage. Yes, you can do that if you are fairly well prepared. So I told you take one test daily for prelims. It'll all be a kind of revision for you. Along with it, you'll have a lot of time left in hand. What do you do with it? Take tests for mains as well. Not as frequently, but you can keep doing that. So this was for people who are fairly well prepared, cleared the exam earlier but could not go all the way, and who are very confident about it. This is for them. Second category of students would be those students who are okay, but some things left here and there. So I've done till ratios and quant, but the last two chapters, time, speed, distance and time and work is left. Things like that. I have to do this. I have to complete certain lessons in grammar. So if you talk about people enrolled in the course, I'm yet to do a couple of sessions on this and that. Things like that. I have not done this topic. So these are students who are okay, but I would say not in the best possible position at the moment in which they can say, I will definitely crack the test. Why? Because the syllabus is not complete, probably some topics left here and there and all those things. So for these kind of people, I would suggest in the next couple of weeks, fine, or at least when 15-20 days are left for the prelims exam, I'm talking about prelims now, complete the syllabus. Fine. So complete the syllabus at least when there are like 15-20 days left for the exam. I'm talking about prelims exam, and focus more towards topic or more towards completing those topics which have higher importance in prelims. So for example, we'll talk about quadratic equations, series, sequences, whatever you call it, and simplification. These are more important than prelims. Series does come in the main exam as well though. And so complete these topics first. Arithmetic topics, not as much importance on data interpretation, tougher data interpretation, like that. You have to behave smartly. Ideally, you should have done everything by now, but for whatever reason you started late or whatever, if you have not been able to do it, focus more on topics. You can, if you go through a couple of mock tests, you can actually figure out what generally comes in the prelims exam. So focus more on topics that you believe are going to help you in prelims. Not that they're not going to help you in mains, but here if I have 2 out of 10 things, select 7 because I'm not left with enough time. So I'll select those 7 that are going to help me more in the prelims exam. You got the point? So focus on those topics. You're smart enough to know what these topics are, fine, and try and complete the syllabus at least 15 to 20 days in advance before the prelims exam. Now in the meanwhile, you can start taking prelims mock tests. Don't take too many, because when the syllabus is complete, you'll do poorly and you will feel a little depressed, mera score nahi aa raha hai. All these kind of things do happen. So even 2-3 weeks would be sufficient for you to start taking the mock tests and hone your test taking skills. What is mock test for? Mock test is the process in which you convert your knowledge into marks. The first step of preparation is acquiring that knowledge. You study your English, maths, reasoning. Second step is converting that knowledge into marks. That is where mock tests do help. So when you do not have the knowledge, you just keep taking tests randomly, that's not going to help. When you are prepared, at least prepared well enough, if not great, then you start taking mock tests, and then that's going to help. So I'm saying 2-3 weeks, ideally 3 weeks. If it's 2 weeks, then also it will work. After that, when only 2-3 weeks are left and you believe your syllabus and everything is done, then start focusing towards the mock tests. Then when you start taking the mock tests, you will realize, I think I know this topic, but I'm not scoring well. When you believe series sequence questions are taking a lot of time, what do you do then? Go back to the topic, solve 100 questions, like that. That would be the utility for you. So in a way, you are like group 1 of students who are very well prepared, but even they might have small problems, and they would just go back to the topic and plug the holes wherever they exist. You would do the same, but at a slightly later stage. Complete the syllabus first and then you go to it. Rest everything remains the same for you. What you can do, which I advise the first set of students, was what you can avoid rather is leave GK at this stage if you think you might miss out on prelims. Look, ideally, in an ideal world, I would have suggested read GK daily. But at times we put ourselves in a position wherein if we do that, we'll miss out on prelims. If we miss out on prelims, there'll be no mains happening. If there's no mains happening, what would be the use? So that's the point. So if you believe you've got limited time, you're struggling, you're panicking already, leave GK, leave descriptive, leave all those things that you believe are not going to help you in prelims. Focus on clearing prelims first. We always say prelims and mains preparation is linked. It's very, very closely connected. But yes, what you can definitely do is build up for prelims and then build up a level higher for main exam. It's not two different kinds of preparation. For mains, you have to build up a level higher. If you do not prepare for prelims, you cannot prepare for mains. It's linked. But yes, you can stop at a particular level and say, I'll just go to this level, and then since I have to clear prelims first, and then I'll take it up a level higher for the main exam. This is for people who are at a middle stage. Syllabus is yet to be completed, but they are not somebody who just started. You've done a lot of stuff, but a lot of stuff still needs to be done. Pull up your socks, work hard, complete the syllabus, go to the mock tests, start taking the mock tests, analyze them well. If you want to understand how to analyze the mock tests, go to a playlist in this on this channel. You will find multiple videos on how to analyze mock tests. Please go through them, right? And then you will be fine-tuning your preparation to ensure that you clear the prelims test. Prelims is important. I keep reiterating, because many people, when they're asking us, sir, मैं बड़े वाले problems कैसे solve करूँ? How do I solve those bigger problems, bigger puzzles, bigger DI sets? I'm sure you know that mains, the cutoff is not too high. You just need to develop the art of picking the problems and all. We'll talk about it at a later stage. But here, if you do not clear prelims, there's not going to be any mains for you. So make sure that you do not take it lightly and try and clear it. Now let's come to the third set of students who have just started, students who have just enrolling in our programs these days. So many of them are like in a position in which they have been doing well, just not been able to go all the way. So I'm not concerned about these students. You will do well. You either fall in the first category or in the second category. But there genuinely are some students who are only starting. I mean, they have heard from good students in the past, that it can be cleared in 3-4 months, or if your English and maths and reasoning is reasonably okay, with 3-4 months of preparation you could do it. And I have seen people like that. Everybody has a natural ability which is different from somebody else's. So yes, if you're naturally good at English, maths, reasoning, and you believe you can handle it, and you're just starting, that can be managed. And yes, it's a fact that there exist many people who are just starting, just enrolling in the program and all, and they're just they're confident but slightly apprehensive because they're just starting and others are miles ahead. What do you do at this stage? So it is simple. The way I advise for the second set of students, you need to pick and choose the topics. What do I do at this stage? So for people who are just starting or have just started 15 days back, 20 days back, like that, you have to leave things like GK side. Abhi mat karo. I do not want you to fail the prelims. Fine. You can leave descriptive completely. Chhod do. You can leave higher level puzzles, higher level DI sets, higher level critical reasoning, bigger RC sets, all these things. When you can leave them, and you should leave them. The reason is that you might clear the prelims, you might not clear the prelims, but I would not want you to take that chance. If you are like super confident of your ability, though you have just started, that I'll clear it, then do well in 10 consecutive mock tests, and then you can do whatever you want to do. You get the point? So don't just think that since I'm smart, I'll be able to handle this stupid exam. Many people think like that. What do you have to do? If you have to tell yourself this thing, take 10 mock tests, score a 95% in them. A 95 is not the limit, you can get a 90, 99, but I'm saying, yeah, a 93, 94, 95, 96 kind of a percentile consistently in 10 mocks, and then you can tell yourself, I am on course to clear this prelims. Let me work towards mains or interview or whatever, right? But if this is not happening, then you need to work for prelims, because again, then there'll be no mains for you if you mess up your prelims. What do you have to do? As I told you, you can leave certain things. You can leave difficult puzzles, difficult DI sets, difficult RC sets. You can leave descriptive practice at this stage. You can leave general awareness reading at this stage. What do you do? Basic arithmetic, 3 topics of quant, simplification, approximation, number series, quadratic. You have to do that. In reasoning, puzzles is very important, but small kind of puzzles. Those 2-minute, 3-minute kind of puzzles. Solve 200, 400, 500 puzzles. of there, take any test series and just keep practicing those puzzles. Fine, do that. These are very simple to master, just the basics of puzzles, and then you can do a lot of them. The easier topics in reasoning, coding, decoding, input, output kind of topics. Just make sure that you're very good at them and they can be mastered really quickly. Error spotting kind of questions in English, small RC passages, all these kind of things. Fine. All this is going to help you in the mains preparation. While taking the main exam, this is going to help you. But after prelims, you need to take it up a level higher, as I told in the earlier two sets as well, especially for the second set of students. But if you don't do this, since I've been saying this again and again, since prelims is a speed test, even if you're good at maths, even if you're good at reasoning, like everything, you would find it difficult to score at a rapid pace at the time of the exam. It is different. So I'm telling you, if there is somebody who has cleared main exam, you give somebody a paper parallelly of prelims and main exam, you would believe prelims is so easy, mains is so difficult. So there can be people who would clear mains because the nature of the exam is different, but would fail in prelims. Why? Because mains would be where you would get a lot of time. So I can spend actually 10-15 minutes on a puzzle that carries 10 marks, isn't it? We can do that. But in prelims, what would happen is that you get a puzzle, you need to solve it in 2.5 minutes. This is a different skill. So to make sure that you have both the skills, and since prelims is happening first, you focus more on acquiring that speed at this stage. Now, I will not say it's tougher or easier. No, it's a different skill. So for that, you need to practice a little differently. Basics of puzzles, and then solving 200-500 puzzles, and you should be on course to score well in the reasoning section. Like that, easier topics, input, output, coding, decoding, in quant, simplification, quadratic, series, all these kind of type. Basics of DI and arithmetic. They give you very simple problems on that. So, but the basic things, you should know that. Otherwise, you will not be able to score quickly at the time of prelims exam. Look, ideally, I have told you, you should have started earlier. But can you change that now? No. You have taken this decision to start now. What choice do you have? Tell me. Nothing. You have to make it work. And I can tell you that many people have made it work. Many people have cleared this exam in 2-3 months. Even if you want, you cannot bring the time back. This cannot be July now. This cannot be May now. No, it cannot be. So what do you do now? You have taken this plunge. Give it your best. Many people have done it. You have to do it. You can do it. But what you need is a more strategic methodological way of doing it. You cannot do it in a random, haphazard way. Then it will be a problem for you. The earlier two sets of students probably can afford to do that, but you cannot. You have limited time. Right? You have to do it in a very methodical manner in which everything is planned. Make a plan for yourself. I will complete these topics. For example, say if you're enrolled in a program, just do the first 20 arithmetic lectures. Would make sure that you know more than what is required. Leave the advanced arithmetic sessions and the advanced DI sessions, basics of DI, just do that. So all these kind of things would ensure that you know enough to clear the prelims exam, and then focus on mock tests. For you, the deadline for starting to take mock tests seriously would be 10-15 days before the exam. If you want to start right away along with doing stuff, because this is basic maths and English, you know it, then it's okay. But the last 10 days still for you should be dedicated mostly to test taking. Many people take test taking lightly. So they would think, if I know the stuff, that's good enough. No, not in a competitive exam like that. So last 10 days at least should be dedicated to test taking along with sim revision. You bump into a problem, you believe I need to revise this topic. Good. Go back to it, revise it. Then you can again come back to taking the mock tests. But the last 10 days, 2-3 tests daily along with some revision should be the norm for everyone. For the third set of students, you need to take a lot more mock tests towards the end, because at this stage you would be focused towards finishing the syllabus and all. You'll ask me, sir, what would happen at the time of the main exam if I leave so many topics for the main exam? Again, the same answer. If you do not clear prelims, there's no mains for you. Let's talk about this first. Let's clear this hurdle first, and then we'll talk about mains. What I can assure is that at this stage, even if you are focusing more on prelims, this is not going to hamper your preparation at the time of the main exam. It's not that, it's a test of Spanish and you're learning French at this point. It's not like that. Whatever you're doing here is definitely going to help you in the main exam. But yes, you'll have to work a little more as compared to people who have completed the entire thing before the prelims exam. So this can happen. So this should not bother you too much at this stage. Focus on the task at hand. What is the task? Clearing prelims first. you'll have some time for the main exam. This can be managed. So I'll ask you to slog for GK, write descriptive things, higher level DI and higher level puzzles and all that. At that time, that's all manageable, trust me. But focus on this stage. And guys, one thing which is important for everyone. Look, there are things that are under our control. There are things that are not in our control. So many of you are troubled by, because I'm starting late, I'm not in a good position as compared to my competition. How can I do it at this stage? And these kind of questions bother you. There are others, I'm telling you, who are bothered because they believe they've been trying for a couple of years. They've completed everything, but still not being able to clear the exam. So that's another reason to worry. And then you will not be able to think like them. You would say, iska to sab kara hua hai. He's done everything. Why is he worried? He has done everything, but he has been failing for 2 consecutive years. He feels bad because of that. He has lost confidence. You've just started. Your problems are different. You've just started. You can go there with the belief that I would not need a second attempt. I'll clear it here itself, isn't it? So everybody has a different set of problems. Your problem is something else. You need to complete the syllabus, get into that exam mode. He or she who has been writing it for 2 years has completed the syllabus, but it has not happened for him or her, right? He has not cracked it. So there's another problem for him. It's more of a mental thing. So when you ask for strategy and tips and everything, it's different for different people. So I've tried to summarize the complete thing for and talking about 3 sets of people, customize it further. Where do I fall in this? It's a continuum. People who are very, very well prepared, people who have just started. It's a complete thing. So where do you fall in that continuum? And adjust your preparation accordingly. Do not listen blindly to people saying, take 3 mock tests daily. No, it might work for somebody, might not work for you. You need to finish your syllabus first, right? It can be things like that. So do not follow anything blindly. See what's working for you. Try different things. Set targets. Try and achieve them. It's not that since you have completed your syllabus, you would say, I do not need to study more. Why? Where's the problem? Cutoff is 65. Why can you not get an 85? Would it hurt you? No. So do not be complacent. Work hard. Guys, if you're here listening to me, there's a good chance that you've not completed this exam. You've not cracked it. If you've not cracked it, either because this is your first attempt or you have failed once or failed thrice, it means just one thing for me, that you are still an aspirant. You're still an aspirant. If you're still an aspirant, you do not have any right to feel that the exam belongs to you. No, it's still a challenge. It's good to feel confident about it. I will crack it this year. But if you can give it 8 hours, you're doing 6 hours because you feel very confident you're making a mistake. You get 10 marks more than the cutoff, would it hurt you? No. If say 65 is the final cutoff out of 100, you got a 72, you're all India topper, would it hurt you? No, it will be a great feeling getting to the bank with that kind of credentials, isn't it? So give it your best. Do not feel overconfident, do not feel underconfident, just have that right level of confidence. I can do it if I give it my best shot. Irrespective of whether you're starting now, whether you started 3 years back. This is the attempt in which I'm going to crack it. This is going to be my year. Tell yourself that. And just telling yourself that would not be enough. Work accordingly. Fine. Work accordingly. Work according to your requirements and give it your best. Do not leave anything to chance. Just keep working really hard, methodically, not in a haphazard manner. And just hope for the best to happen to you. Good things happen to people who put in the effort. It's not an accident. Success is not an accident. In fact, it's not an event, it's a process. Follow the process and you will do good. All the best.